You know what? You're right. Fear us. Hello, everyone. My name is Vicky, and with me are Lorin and Michael.
Hello.
Hello.
Today we thought we'd do an AMA, that's an Ask Me Anything, and since the three of us are librarians, it's going to be an AMA Librarian edition. We also thought we'd answer the questions that Michael's dug up for us while eating increasingly spicy wings. We're a huge fan, I'm a huge fan anyways, of hot ones. So the sauces you'll see here can be found at heatness.com. I'll be sure to link below. So it'll be 10 wings with 6 sauces because we really want to, we're really curious about sticking with some of these flavors that look very good. And so we're ready to go, right?
Yep.
We're good.
Steel City Sauce Company J Jaguar with Scoville units 3600. Hey, Michael, it cooked all the way through. So, yeah.
Gosh, no food poisoning for you.
No poisoning for me. Okay.
That's very good.
I like the flavor.
Mm-hmm.
Should have started my wings at a little higher temperature so they were a bit crispier, but the flavor is good.
I'm ready.
All right. So we'll start off with one that a lot of people seem to have. What are some of the weirdest things you found stuck inside books?
Sometimes wrappers, people will just use like bits of wrappers and trash as bookmarks. So I think I found like something about, it was a dog treat with a pepperoni jerky flavor, and it said it was still fresh. So that was unusual. Have you found anything, Lauren?
I think the weirdest thing was Rosicrucian literature.
Oh, like a pamphlet stuck inside?
For like a Gnostic mass. That was interesting.
That is interesting. Okay.
Was not expecting that.
So the second wing is still the J Jaguar, but it was pretty good. It has a little spice. I'm not gonna like, it's,
Don't need a milkshake yet?
I don't need, well, now you're gonna jinx me, right? The heat is definitely staying in my mouth. It's still just there.
It reminds me of green salsa, like tahini sauce, kind of.
Yeah.
How did you decide to be a librarian?
I went to library school because I needed a backup plan if my dream to be a writer never panned out, which I haven't had time to write. So, I mean, I guess the joke's on me. So I decided I wanted a job still surrounded by books and literature and, you know, writing, that I could still feel connected in some way with something that I really love. I also like to help people, so that helped me a great deal in deciding to be a public librarian anyways. I did try archives, and that's fun and fascinating, but I don't get to interact with the public as much. So public library, I think that's why I chose that field, was helping people and getting to be in the literature world.
What about you, Lauren?
Two of my friends were librarians and they talked me into it.
Peer pressure.
Oh, no.
They were my partying, drinking buddies, yes.
I have to admit, librarians, we know how to party.
Yes.
When I went to school, we were like right next to a pub, And that's like, if there was a fire or anything, that was our evacuation point.
It just went up my nose. We had our first injury of the evening.
Ooh, well, you'll be able to breathe freely for a while. Gloria.
Right.
Oh no.
At least it wasn't the hottest one.
This is true.
A heartbeat hot sauce. It's a pineapple habanero. I'm really excited about this one. It sounds delicious and I can't wait. So, cheers.
Cheers.
Yes.
Smells good.
Okay, y'all are gonna laugh. I forgot to trim it.
Mm.
Oh, that's nice.
It is nice. Like, I expected the pineapple flavor, but it's also a little sweeter than I was expecting. I like it.
I really like this one. 10 more cases for Vicky.
It's very flavorful.
I don't think I like the way I prepared the wings myself, though. I think I'm just gonna stick with like a professional. order plain wings and then just douse them myself.
I was wondering about that because the internet said to dredge them in flour, so I did that, but I don't know that that really did very much. I think I'm gonna probably do what you're gonna do next time. Just get professional ones.
One trick that I've kind of learned with like oven fried chicken is you start out at like, I wasn't sure what to cook these at because they're smaller than chicken legs, but you start out like 425 for like 10 minutes and then drop it down to 375
Okay.
for the rest of the cooking time. And that helps make the skin crispy.
Oh. I used...
Also pat them dry before you cook them.
I did that, but I used not flour, but baking powder. Because a thing called for baking powder. And so I was like, okay.
Interesting. Have you ever had an apparition appear in the stacks or books get knocked off the shelf for apparently no reason?
I've heard stories of hauntings in our library. I've heard stories of mysterious things going on. And then I've equally heard the same amount of, no, ghosts don't exist. So I'm in the belief that there are ghosts, but I've never witnessed anything happening there. But people have died at our library, so I wouldn't be surprised. It's an old city to begin with a lot of history, so I wouldn't be surprised. Have either of y'all?
By you, Lorin?
I wasn't in a library. I was actually, have y'all been to the big book people in Austin?
Yes, I love that place.
Yeah, so you know how on the second floor they have a lot of those masks and artifacts from different places, and I've always gotten weird vibes off of them.
Oh.
Yeah, and one time I was in one of the back areas and a book just threw itself off of the shelf and hit me in the head.
Dude, you were attacked by a book?
Was
A book-wielding ghost?
Yeah.
Was this before or after you became a librarian?
I think it was when I was in library school, and the weird thing is I wasn't even in the occult section. I would have thought that it would have been there, but it was like in the travel section, or it was some other obscure.
Now you're just being prejudiced against the occult books.
Saying it does make sense. But my husband is a funeral director, so every time we just hear a strange noise in the house, I'm just like, oh, damn it, you brought another one home. He's like, yeah, I'll sage tomorrow, it's fine.
Before I'm taking a bite. It's the same one, but I know it's yummy.
Next one.
The law library.
Oh, yeah.
It's haunted by a really bad thing. Like I would never, when I would go there, I would never go in there. The owner told me that it was very, very dark, whatever is in there.
Want to go with me?
When?
Oh, yeah. I have to look at my calendar because they have tours on Saturdays and only on Saturdays. Or is it only on Fridays? I don't know. I have to look at my schedule.
What's the weirdest reference question you've received from a patron?
It had to do with, I think, strobe lighting and the necessary wattage to kill a person, or the speed of its blinks or something like that. Like how fast or what frequency did it have to be at to kill somebody? That was a question I
Like, you hooked
received.
someone up to it?
What?
Like if you hooked someone up to it?
No, I mean like the flashing light, I think.
Oh.
I think that was the gist of the question. Like how fast did it have to be flashing before it caused somebody to die? I think it was something along those lines. It was basically, how do you kill a person?
With a strobe light. Okay.
That was pretty weird. I don't judge, but no, it's, I just assume the best from everybody and hope that they're a writer, and maybe that's why they're asking this question. Or maybe they're in a debate in a comment section on the internet and they need, somebody else to weigh in. Maybe that's why they're asking this question.
Until they're arrested and like, well, this lady Vicky told me.
Lauren, any weird questions?
Again, probably the weirdest one that I've gotten was a person that was doing research on witchcraft, and they needed a picture of a witch's coven kissing the devil's butt, and they wanted a real specific one. It was like a 16th century woodcut. So I couldn't tell if they were just pulling my leg or if they were for reals. But I mean, I found one for them, but it was kind of weird.
That is very specific.
Yeah.
The thing people do for tenure.
The next one is Fresno Sauce Company. Fresno Sauce Company Chipotle and Habanero. Ooh. Scoville units 12,400. So this is about the same heat as the last one.
Okay.
Oh. I'm not a fan of this flavor. I mean, I should preface that with I don't particularly care for Chipotle, so that will affect this.
It's smoky. I mean, I'm catching that smoky flavor.
I like the smokiness, but it feels like it's missing something. To me.
Lime.
Yes.
This was posted by someone who had never returned some CDs, and he asked, will the library ever come after me?
Yes.
For the CDs and the fines?
Yes. No. For our branch anyway, we actually send any outstanding fines. Like it has to be, so for some libraries, they don't even have fines, which yay. I'm all for no fines. Others will start blocking access, saying you can't check out more material until you start some kind of payment plan or replace the item that you haven't returned for whatever reason. And we get all kinds of reasons why, oh, I lost it, or oh, I moved, or oh, I'm no longer in the city, or something like that. The best thing to do is just to either replace it. Some of these rack up pretty badly, so you want to make sure that you replace whatever it is you took, or at least contact them, because some branches and systems do go to collection agencies, and you definitely don't want that to happen, because then, I mean, that's a horrible reason. You don't want Little House on the Prairie to be the reason why you can't get a loan. That's horrible. And we don't want that for patrons. So we don't come after you. but sometimes we send collection agencies to come after you, and they're more aggressive than we are, and we just don't like that.
Lorin, I know you've had experience in academic libraries. Is it
Mhm.
pretty similar in an academic setting or different?
Well,
As far
I
as
know
your
that I think so because you have your standard professor that checks something out and they have it like lost in their office for like 20 or 30 years. And it's kind of almost like collecting a loan in the sense where they send people to go and ask this professor and the professor's like, no.
That was just in the news, right? Wasn't that just in the news? Like there was a professor who he was like the expert in his field, and he was like, I'm the only one who checks these books out, and he kind of treated it like his own personal library.
No, that was an archive. It was a library. It's a special collections of the Carnegie Library, and he was the head. And over, I think it was 8 years, he and a local rare book dealer stole about $8 million worth of items. Is the single largest amount of rare books and manuscripts stolen ever. And they just finally discovered it because they finally did an audit after 8 to 10 years, and they realized everything's missing. So yeah.
That's horrible. And this is Bravado Spice Company, Ghost Pepper and Blueberry, Schofield units 28,000.
Oh.
I'm already feeling a little bit of the heat. Like it's like
Yeah.
it is everywhere in my face right now, and I'm like trying hard not to get into the water that's sitting next to me. Okay, I will try. This is what it looks like.
My nose is running a little bit.
Mine too.
Oh, I like that flavor.
It's good.
That's sweeter than I thought it was gonna be.
I can also feel the heat.
Oh my god, it
Immediately.
creeps up. It's like right there after the sweetness. Oh,
Hello.
yeah. Oh my god. It's tasty and I want another bite, but oh my god. Okay.
Excuse me.
I'm the same way. It's okay.
What do you think of allowing kids to sign out books that are typically meant for adults? And examples were like, of course, 50 Shades of Grey, Silence of the Lambs, Kama Sutra. What is the typical policy on that?
Our typical policy, or any librarians really, is on one hand, we work with parents, of course, but we are not a child's parent. We're not parents, and we don't block access to information. So if a kid comes up and they ask for something, it is not our practice to get in the way of that. Or talk to their parents and say, hey, your kid is reading this questionable material. It's not our place to judge. If the kid wants to read Stephen King, the kid wants to read whatever else is, on the banned book list, sure, I'll show you where it can be found. I'm all for reading, but also parents, I don't think can expect us to be a parent to their kid in place of them. Wow, that is really spicy.
That is very spicy.
Did you drink something already? Are we drinking stuff?
Oh, I already drank something, yeah.
I'm eating.
You're
I'm
waiting?
eating sour cream.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah, this one got me.
Oh, this chocolate milkshake is heaven.
That was a sharp jump.
Oh, wow.
It reminds me of like Indian food where you're okay and you're okay, and all of a sudden it's like, oh.
Yeah, I'm not okay right now. My mouth is burning. Like all the sweetness has left, and now I'm just stuck with the burn. Lorin, do you want to weigh in on that last question?
I guess for me, it's been really interesting because we didn't really have a lot of that where I used to work. And I guess I would say I agree with you where, you know, we're not really supposed to be censors. I think it also depends on the kid, you know. So I think sometimes if you have a kid who can handle it, it's probably not going to be too much of a problem for them to read. But you know, I don't like to be a censor of any kind. So
This is wing 7. Oh, this is gonna hurt. Okay.
Everything's fine.
It's pretty tasty, but it hurts. No. Okay. Oh my god. Okay.
All right. Next question. Did any of your perceptions or opinions of the library change after you started working there? I should say perceptions or opinions about the library changed after you started working there. Okay. And this can also cover like your perceptions or opinions about your job as a librarian.
So oddly enough, I read less than I did before. That changed. I thought I would at least be consistent in how much I read, and now it's a lot less than I was before. Even when I was in grad school, I think I was reading more than I do now. I think there's a misconception from everybody that librarians read all day, or not read all day, but read a lot. And for some librarians, it's true, they can. They don't sleep, but some do read more. I think it also depends on what type of, if you're a public librarian, what type of population you serve or anticipated helping. So if you're in a rural area, it's going to look a lot different than you are if you're in a downtown, massive system-wide hub, I suppose. It's going to look completely different. I thought I was going to be at most in like a small branch on the outskirts of town. So there's different challenges that come with the people I work with. I thought I was going to be a children's librarian or a teen librarian. So that changed too. And the people I helped changed. So yeah, it depends on who you're helping, I think.
What about you, Lorin?
I think it's just the breadth of personalities involved in our profession, because you know there's that, and I mean I should have known because my friends were, you know, very unique people, but I'm just always really amazed at all the different people that come to librarianship from different places and different worldviews, and also just how amazingly talented everyone is. You know, at least maybe I've been lucky with the people that I've met, but I'm just always really amazed at just how cool people are. Well, because you know, when I was little, I was like scared of the librarian. Cool? Well, I was scared of the librarian when I was little. And like when I was in college,
really,
I was terrified of the librarians as well. So,
wow.
I wasn't terrified of the librarians in college. Once you've already had your professor, like, you know, be like, hey, I got a flat, we're not doing class today. A lot of the mystique of the people working at the university is kind of dissipated.
I have the heat hiccups now. So
I'm actually starting to sweat.
You are?
Yeah.
I have the heat hiccups, and I made the mistake of licking my lips, and so now the heat has transferred up to my lips, and now everything's on fire. So
My mouth
there's
is numb.
It's glorious. It's glorious. It's wonderful. Love it. Love it.
All right.
Okay. What's the
Ready?
next?
Okay. We are on Hotter Than L Ghost Sauce. This is Scoville units of 39,000.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
Here we go. It's a nice, pretty color.
It is pretty. Looks a little bit like salsa, actually.
Uh-huh.
Ooh. I really like the taste. Why is it like the even better that they taste, like the hotter they're gonna be?
I don't taste it.
Like the flavor or like the burn?
Both.
Oh, it probably means it's a slow burner.
Oh no.
It's like, oh, this is fine. This is fine. After like 3 bites, you're like, oh, why did I do this?
I like how it's vinegary.
Mm-hmm.
It cuts the it seems like wings are pretty rich and
I don't know. I'm not getting the hot that the last ones did. Like hit me with. Or maybe my mouth is so traumatized by what has already happened that they're just like, no, we can't measure any more kind of heat. Okay. Either way, I'm ready.
Yes. Next question is, I actually liked this question. It was, what book have you read that you feel you would not have discovered if you hadn't started working at the library?
Not so much book, as in one, but I think nonfiction. I now read nonfiction, whereas before I used to mainly read fiction works. Now I get drawn into not so much history, but I like a lot of either biographies or what is it, where a writer will take a topic and just write on this topic, like say salt and how it's like impacted the world in like 17 million different ways. So just interesting, fascinating conversation. I'm drawn to that a lot more than I was previously. So that probably, I won't say it would never have happened, but I wouldn't have been so inclined.
What about you, Lorin?
Well, I agree with Vicky, and I've always wondered what the actual name for that genre is, because it makes me think of like Freakonomics and Stiff and everything like that.
Yes,
I mean,
yes.
I've never seen like a.
Who is that? Who writes that? But it's not forensic, but investigative writing, because where they go and research a topic. It's very academic in its pursuit, and I really love like the footnotes that get included in the writing. Like I just like get a high off of those footnotes because they're sometimes more fascinating than what's going on in the page above. Just because you're like, wait, whoa, you can't just slide that little bit in there at the end.
Yeah, I mean,
romance.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, a lot of that was also due to working with Heather. She kind of got me onto that, but then I started.
Heather's so wonderful. She would like leave books on my desk for me.
Me too.
Yes! Oh my God, she's the best librarian. Romance. Huh.
Yeah, I know. I used to like. I'll admit, I used to kind of think of romance as most people think it was kind of like, oh, it's kind of trashy. Like,
oh, she got that out of you fast, right?
She changed it. Now it's like if I like just need a straight up feel good book, like I'll pick up the romance.
I was walking by the romance section just last week, and I got very tempted to take one home because the great thing about romance is, like, you could just you don't have to know, like, you don't have to read the entire series. You can just read them as standalones. And the basic premise of a romance, like, the rule is that it will have a happy ending.
Yeah,
that's what makes it a romance. And so there's no like disappointment or like angsty feeling at the very end to where you want to just like throw it across the room. So yeah, it's a very much feel good read. And yeah, I was like that last week. I was like, I just need to read about this cowboy apparently, and everything will be fine.
Everything will be fine.
Everything will be fine. And then let's see. It's a really nice flavor.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think I like this one quite a bit.
Mm-hmm. I am a fan.
It is just like a regular hot sauce, right? Like, just there's no frills to it.
Like, it's kind of tart, but also has a kind of a fruity taste to it.
Yeah.
The next question is, what is the strangest thing you've seen in the library?
Strangest things I've seen. I'm gonna try to break that question down. So strange that I've never seen it before, or strange for the setting of, that shouldn't be happening here. I think it's two different questions, right? So I've definitely seen
both answers.
Yeah, no. I've definitely walked across people having sex in the library, like in the stacks.
Please don't do that. Whoever's watching this, please don't do that. If for no other reason, you know how often those areas are cleaned? Please don't do that.
So like people having sex, that's not like the weirdest thing I've like seen. It's just the fact that it's in the library is pretty, don't do that. There's always that. But then sometimes people, for computer use, people use the public computers, and sometimes I think questionable things will happen. One time I remember I thought it was legit a snuff film that was on the screen. I went up there, I was like, that's not appropriate. You cannot be watching that here. You need to turn that off. And it was like, what's going on? And it turned out it was like the news or like it was an actual thing. And I was like, oh my God, that's horrible. Is that real? And they were like, yes. And I was like, oh yeah, you can watch that, I guess, but just, oh my God.
You know, I for sure thought you would have mentioned watching the guy get tattooed in the library.
Oh my God, I forgot about that. How did I forget about that?
That's my favorite. Like, what was it?
I was doing rounds. I was walking around my floor, and there by the back tables, I heard this like vibrating sound. And I was like, what is that? And so I went, and sure enough, it was this guy tattooing another guy. And I was like, are you tattooing him? And he says, oh yeah. I was like, oh, that's great. Can I take a picture? And he's like, oh yeah. And so he's like posing for it. And I was like, click. I was like, you cannot do that here. Pack everything up and leave. Yeah.
How about you, Lauren? What's in your years of library work? What are some of the weirdest things you've seen?
Probably around finals. Somebody brought in a tent. Somebody else brought like a cotton candy maker.
University libraries during finals are lawless places. Like, no, everything's out the window.
But I guess the weirdest was the guy that was dressed like a gorilla chasing another guy that was dressed like a banana. And they were just like running around.
Huh.
That was pretty funny.
Have you seen that video of, I think it happened at UW, where there was a protest happening and they brought it into one of the academic libraries, and it happened like during finals week or something, and a student went down and was like, he shushed them all because they were with their bullhorn and they were like making, and he's like, this is a library. Just like he's like, no time for this. And then they like got awkwardly silent, like, and that's coming from a librarian. Like it was like an awkward silence. And he left, and they just kind of like looked around like, that wasn't what we planned on happening at all. And then they left. It was like, it's really one of my favorite videos.
That's hilarious.
There was a lady that was almost completely naked. She was doing a protest, and she had a blindfold on, and she had like put tape over her, you know, her chest area. And I think she had a thong on. And so my colleague just went and asked her if she was like, okay, like, you know, are you doing this because of somebody told you to? Because they thought, okay, it was some sort of romantic thing gone awry or whatever. But no, she was just protesting, so it was okay.
Hold a boombox over your head like a normal person.
Right.
Stand in the rain like everybody else.
No, but I have my kitty's here and I don't want to touch her. I'm like, ah!
Bear sauce's garlic reaper sauce.
Okay.
This is 116,000 Scoville units. Are you ready? I'm
Ready's a strong word, but let's do this.
Oh God.
Oh my God, that's just pain.
Holy
Oh shit.
that is
Bro.
fire.
Oh my God, it's burning like. Ah.
Burning all the way down.
Oh my God.
Okay.
No, if I don't move. Oh. Okay.
Holy shit.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Ah.
No downtime. That just hits you.
Oh, fudge. Oh.
Oh God.
Why,
Vicky? Why?
I'm so sorry. My ears. My ears.
Oh.
Oh. There's like, it's not going away. Oh.
Okay. Last question.
Oh.
Sorry. Okay, the question was from someone interested in being like a librarian. They want to know, what lessons did you learn on the job that you didn't learn from class? That you would only learn on the job?
Compassion. You have to be a compassionate person. Patience. Oh, my eyes are watering. Watch the eyes. Watch the eyes. Ooh.
Oh, I'm sweating.
I think you learn a lot about yourself, and the type of person you are, like the type of human being you are, interacting with a wide scope of people. And they all can communicate to you in different ways, in how they talk to you, and what they say, and it might not match up what they're actually looking for. And so I think it takes time to get an understanding of who you are as a librarian to best help people. And they can't teach that to you in school. Huh. But I also think that you have to, I think you have to have a passion for helping people. Like all the really great librarians I know have that in common, is they genuinely want to help people in whatever they're trying to access or find or read or do. Because if you can't take the time to explain to somebody how to turn on a computer, guess what? That's a huge part of what we do every day. It requires patience and compassion. Woo! Lorin?
I would add to that just people in general. It seems like you can meet people that are really in crisis. They may be having like a really good day, maybe like having the worst day of their life. And really it's that finding that place of deep compassion. Seeing past, because people act crazy when they're under a lot of stress. It's starting to see through that to the person inside and connect to them. And I'm in so much pain right now. Y'all have no idea.
It's now going down.
I've eaten like a ton of ranch and like 4 pieces of cheese, and it is now starting to fade.
I'm almost out of this milkshake, and my teeth are now saying that they're hurting a little bit too.
My forehead's so shiny right now. I think what I'd like to add on to you too is, yes, it's all about the people. Definitely it's learning about working about the community that uses your library. I've learned that, you know, the communities are very different based on which library you're at. But it's also going to be about learning to work around, because you're never going to have enough resources. You're never going to have enough time. And quite frankly, often you will never have enough support. And having to work through that and around that is going to be difficult. And this is true, honestly, of any job, not just library jobs, but sometimes dealing with upper administration is so much more of a headache than dealing with the people. But that's going to be true for those of you watching. That's going to be true whatever job you go into. So bear that in mind.
Oh, was that as painful as y'all thought it would be? More.
That felt like a real big jump from number 5 to number 6. Like number 5 was like, oh, this is pleasant, this is good, this is really, oh God, this tastes just like flames. Like,
yeah, I don't know what happened.
Lit a clove of garlic on fire and just chucked it in my mouth.
Yeah, I was like this close to vomiting from the pain.
Oh, are you serious?
Actually, yeah, like it wasn't the pain, but it hit my stomach, and my stomach definitely had a moment of like, I'm not sure if I want this in here.
Yeah.
I could only take one nibble, one bite of it, and then I knew I wasn't going to eat the rest of the wing. There's no way. There's just no way. Oh my God.
That was excellent. I'm sorry I have to bug off, but I have that stream.
You do.
Yeah.
Thank you.
We hope we didn't damage you too much to do it.
Knock on wood. Yes. But thank you. This is a lot of fun.
It is, yes.
They were delicious. Bye, everybody.
Bye.